Hello, this is Zeldasmatic, and in this guide I will show you how to trainer ID abuse. This is a very specific kind of RNG. It has less to do with Pokemon and more to do with your trainer ID, although I have read some places that having a specific trainer ID can help you find more flawless IV spreads or more shiny spreads. The first thing you need to do is find your parameters for the game that you plan on RNGing on. If you don't have these, it won't work. So if you're buying a used game, you're going to have to find your parameters. If you don't know how to do that, I have a video that shows you. If you're buying a new game, you basically have to get past the first gym and get your C gear. And then there's a really good spot. Once I find the routes, I'll put it in the notes. There's a good spot near the beginning of the game without any roaming NPCs that is good for calibrating. So you can see here the first thing I'm doing is searching for a flawless seed using the parameters for my game. So as soon as you find one, double click on it and select the box that says seed and copy that number. Now you want to go into the trainer ID searcher and hit paste. You'll see all these Pokemon pop up. Basically, you just want to click on one. It doesn't really matter which one you click on. I think it may have something to do with RNGing a flawless starter, but I'm not really sure. I just clicked on one. And then you want to put in the trainer ID that you want. In this part, I actually put in 88888, but I couldn't find any seeds for it. But you can see that you want to check all three of the hold buttons, and you can change the date. It's the same kind of RNG that you do for wild Pokemon, the same kind of RNG you do for hatching Pokemon. It's just when you start a new game, it always starts on the first IV frame. So when you're searching for a flawless seed, you want to put the IV frame as 1-1. You can see me doing that if you look back at when I'm looking for my flawless seed in the seed searcher. Now, if you already know how to RNG for eggs, then this will be kind of familiar to you because the first thing you need to do is find your actual starting frame. And frame is actually determined when you're starting a new game is based on how many times you say no to Professor Juniper when she asks you if that's the correct answer for your name. So like when you're picking a gender, she'll be like, are you sure you're a boy, sure you're a girl? If you hit no for that, it does not advance your frame. But when you type in your name and she asks you, are you sure? That's when you want to hit no. That advances your frame. But the first time you do this, you just want to hit yes because you want to find out what your actual starting frame is. So it may take a few tries, but once you find a seed for your trainer ID, all you do is look at it and see what the date and time is and the hold buttons. And if you've already calibrated, you know how many seconds before the time to press A. So I'm actually going to, when I first recorded this, I didn't do a demonstration on my DS, but I'm feeling like I shouldn't be lazy with this guide because I personally couldn't find a good video guide about this on YouTube, so I shouldn't be lazy. So this is just me showing you the ID frame search, but I'm actually going to go back on my DS and demonstrate using my Pokemon White version how to RNG trainer ID. I'm a little bit nervous because my white version is where all my precious things are, so I'm pretty sure I can't like accidentally save over my file unless I delete it first. So here we go, here's the second part of my video. Alright, so I'm actually recording directly this time, so if it's bad, I'll record over it. If it's not, then I'll leave it as is. So I found my flawless seed for my Pokemon White game. This is the first thing you want to do. Make sure that you have this checked, otherwise you won't get anything. So once you have your IV Frame 1 Flawless Wild Pokemon, you want to double click on it and select the seed. And I'm doing this live, so I will be showing you exactly how to RNG abuse your trainer ID. So put the seed there and hit generate and click on one of these Pokemon. I don't really care. I like naughty stuff, so there you go, naughty. And check these 3 boxes. And I'm just going to go with one because it's my personal favorite. I know it's kind of like an overused trainer ID, but it's simple and I like it. So if you don't find anything with the first day, just go to the next day. Probability is you may not find something on the first try. If this is really bad, then I'll convert it and try something different. But make sure when you're doing this that you have a notebook and preferably a pencil. You can use a pen, but you're going to be erasing a lot. So ironically, I have a pencil, but it doesn't have an eraser. So I will be crossing out. But it's good if you have a place to write down the results you get, just because it can be a little bit frustrating, especially if you have a cartridge that has kind of like a lot of timer 0 fluctuations. My Pokemon White game is pretty good. It's pretty stable at 1260 for timer 0, so that's why I'm using this one instead of my Pokemon Black one, which I actually already RNG'd the trainer ID for, so that was really frustrating. So I feel like my trusty old Pokemon White will be a lot better for this. I'm just gonna stop recording for a sec. Okay, so it took me a few tries to find a seed that I liked, but if you're having trouble, just try selecting a different Pokemon and hitting search again. It's not really worth searching through a whole month because it takes forever, but so I like this seed because you can see it has a nice middle number for seconds. 35 minus 8 is 27. So that gives me not a whole lot of waiting time between changing the time and going back to the main menu, and also it's kind of close to the second, so the minute, so I don't, yeah, this is good. About 35 to 40 is about the ideal time for on a 3DS. I also unchecked 3 buttons because I don't like pressing 3 buttons. It's just preference. If you don't mind it, then you can do that. And so this is where you want to start. This is basically all the information you need. There's the date, the time, and the buttons you need to press, and the trainer ID that you'll get, and the frame. So I'm going to go back to the DS and show you how to do that. Alright, so here you can see my notebook and my DS. Sorry, it's kind of shaky. Near the end of this video it gets kind of shaky too because I'm trying to write and stuff while holding my phone, which I'm using as a camera. Okay, so it's basically the same concept as regular RNG. First you have to go into your time settings, change the date and time to the one that you had on your seed inspector. So mine was 8/2/2012 at 6:09 and 30 something seconds. So now remember, I have a hold button up and left at the same time. So if you get this as your result, all that means is you have to hit the up and left button at the same time. So I'm entering my game and holding my hold buttons. Remember, you want to hold your hold buttons all the way through this first white screen and then the second black screen with white letters. After that, you can start pressing A. Right there. And obviously you want to hit new game. If you're actually trying to RNG your trainer ID for real, you want to actually delete your old save file first, but you do want to get your parameters before you delete that. So actually fast forward through this part so you can kind of like get a gist. I don't really feel like making you watch this intro over and over again, so just make sure that you hit yes to your name the first time, and I'll do another video when I'm advancing frames to show you how to do that. Once they all kind of shut up, that's when you can enter the menu for the first time and check your trainer ID. You click on that little button down there and hit the double arrow, and that's your ID number. Okay, so once you get your trainer ID number, you want to go back to your computer. Mine's 43295. So go back to the computer. Sorry, this is a little bit shaky. I'm like trying to type and stuff while holding the camera. So click ID frame search. Type in the trainer ID that you just got. Remember to set the date and time to the one that you have for your seed. So mine was 8/2/2012 at 6, 9, and 35 seconds. Okay, so it doesn't have to be exact. It'll give you results within a second or two. So just hit search, and you should see at least one result. So here I am, writing my results down. I highly recommend doing this if you're, especially if you're RNGing for the first time. This helps a lot. So I write down the seconds. 36 was my actual starting time, and the trainer ID I got, and the timer 0. The reason I write down the trainer ID I got is the trainer ID isn't a Pokemon. It's a string of numbers, so it's kind of harder to remember if you've gotten the same one before. So I like to write them down because then I'm like, oh, I've gotten that one before. At least I know I'm hitting the same seed. Also, right here, this is important. We see frame 19. That's the actual starting frame for that seed. The seed at 36 seconds. When you get it on 35 seconds, that's the actual starting frame for the seed that you want. Alright, so it took me a lot more than just 2 tries to get this. It took me about 5. So this is my 5th attempt, and this is actually where I successfully RNG the trainer ID. Now I mentioned before that the frame that you get when you type in the trainer ID into the frame searcher, that will be your initial frame. So my initial frame for the time I wanted and the timer 0 I wanted, which was 1260, was 20 frames, and the frame I wanted was 37. So I had to advance my frame 17 times in order to get the trainer ID I was looking for. So it's impossible for you to have a chat tot at this point in the game. You can't even use the GTS this early, so the only way to advance your trainer ID frame is when Juniper asks you if this is your name, you say no. So every time you say no, that counts as advancing the frame once. So you're going to see me say no to my name 17 times, and that will be how I advance the frame. So this part of the video runs kind of long and is sort of boring, but I assure you I am saying no to my name 17 times. I decided to speed this up because you kind of already watched the intro and stuff, and it kind of sucks. One of the main reasons this kind of RNG is so frustrating is because you have to sit through the intro every single time. So it can be kind of time consuming. Each time is like 5 minutes max. So here you go. So as soon as they're done talking, open your trainer card and flip to the back and you'll see your trainer ID. If you did everything right, it should be the one you're looking for. If you keep getting it wrong, leave a comment in the comment box below and I'll see if I can answer your questions for you. It's not hard, really, it's just time consuming. But it's kind of worth it in the end, especially if you're going to be battling online or like trading your Pokemon away. Um, it's just kind of cool to have a trainer ID that says 1. And as you can see, no AR in the back of my DS, and that's a wrap.